All right. Welcome in, everybody, to not only your week 17, but your end of season recap. And I, your champion, or should I say champ, back to back in a pretty intense matchup, saved by the 4 sacks domination of JJ Watt over the
TJ Watt.
Or TJ Watt, sorry. I made the same mistake that Rich did. Over the Browns, who, I don't know if anyone knows this, but fun fact, Baker Mayfield is now, after last night, the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 10 straight incompletions in a single game. So 10 consecutive incomplete passes for Baker Mayfield. He was really dominated by that defense, and the Browns looked terrible. They have one of the best running backs in the league, and they didn't really run him. So, yeah, the season is over. I feel really good making league history, but let's talk to the future, right? We've got the draft that's going to come up for our next rookie draft. Daryl, in case you don't know, and others that may have forgotten, we're going to do that well before the start of the preseason. We like to mix it up and get a little fantasy going in the middle of the off season. So probably around June is when we did it last year. So probably the same thing this year. It seemed to work out pretty well. Any rule changes that you want proposed to the league have to be made by the end of January. I said the end of February last year, and I started to kind of lose people. People forgot rule changes that they wanted to make. So they have to be proposed by the end of January. The way those will work is, in order to be implemented the following year, they will have to have 100% league vote. And in order to be implemented at all, they will have to have a majority vote. But if they have a majority vote, there will be a year delay in implementation of the rule in order to allow for the league to prepare. So that's that. I'll also send out a message, because I really don't believe everyone watches these.
But we're so entertaining, Nick. Why wouldn't they watch these?
Speaking of entertainment that we put on, I know you're trying to just sneak past it, but I do have you beat twice now in the predictions. So
I will say, you may be champ, and that is literally the only reason you have me beat in the predictions, because if Rich had won the last 2 years, I would be ahead in the predictions, and that was why I started off the video with the big old salute that I was giving you that whole time. I don't even know if you noticed it. You were basking in your own glory like an asshole.
Oh,
you've got me beat again, and the only reason is because I, for the good of not just myself, but the people, voted against you in the championships. Someone has to stick up for the underdog. Someone has to stick up for the little guy, and that's been me, and I've been falling on that star 2 years in a row now.
Your hatred fuels me. And I believe my brother-in-law's father will no longer allow my name to be spoken in his house, because I think I've beaten Rich now the last 2 years in the championship matchup.
Did you knock him out in the first season?
No, the first season it was Rocco.
That's right.
So he is now our second place connoisseur, 3 years running.
Always the bridesmaid.
Lots of silver medals, and just ouch. But there's always next year, and his team was so dominant, I would be extremely surprised if he was not in the playoffs again next year. So we'll see what happens. I don't really have much else, Ramsey. You got anything for the people?
I guess don't forget that you can do off-season trading if you want to get stuff set up for the drafts, by trading players and or draft picks before then. Now that the season's over, you can start trading again. So if people want to get active, try and switch things up and hopefully change things for next season or even the season after, since we're Dynasty and all of that good stuff, feel free. I know we had a good bit of trading going around for draft picks before last draft. I'm expecting to see something, probably not anytime soon, but as we get closer to like April, June, don't forget that you can do that.
Yeah, and fantastic point. Also reminds me that I will be resetting Fab for the off season. So I will do that tonight when I post this video.
Alrighty. Other than that, I guess my only point left, even if it does sustain you, it still makes me feel better. Is just, I'm going to beat you on predictions next year. And you know what? I've made it to the playoffs now. My time is nigh. Next time I won't have, like some of my good players on IR from the start of the season again. I feel like I'm going to come back next year. I'm feeling confident. Who knows? Maybe I'll make it past the first round. And at the very least, if I can knock you out of the playoffs, I will be happy.
Well, everyone has to have a goal to aspire to. So congrats, everyone.
Oh,
and
I do have one last closing point for me. I have one other big hope for next season. And that is that we will be better as a league, other Nick, about playing full rosters that are legal lineups the entire time.
Yeah, and that will be a rule change I intend on putting forward next year is something regarding that to try to, one, encourage that, to get people kicked if they continue to do that, and two, in the playoffs, not pull the kind of bullshit Rocco pulled. So we'll see what happens, but I will be proposing a rule change like that to the league. And everyone, have a wonderful 2022, and we'll see you later in the off season.